This is a May Luna Media production.
You know how people say they met God on mushrooms? Well, yeah, I met time. It was just me, a candle, a journal, and a handful of psilocybin, the kind of solo ceremony where you're not chasing visions, you are courting truth. And before I began, I asked the mushrooms one simple thing. I asked them to show me everything. Not heal me, not fix me, not, anything like that, but just show me how it all works. And somewhere between laughter and light geometry, the download came in. It was clean and ancient and absolute. And the message was simple. Earth and humanity move in 12,000-year cycles. The Great Flood marked the descent, and now you're at the dawn of the rise, the energy age. And when I came back, I wrote it all down like a woman possessed. Like I didn't even know the word Yuga then, but later when I stumbled into Vedic cosmology, I realized that I had been handed the syllabus to the universe. You see, the Yugas aren't myth. They're a cosmic clock of human consciousness cycles where the collective expands and then forgets and then remembers again. The ancients mapped it through story, and modern science tracks it through the precession of the equinoxes, that 26,000-year wobble of Earth's axis that literally times our awakening and our descent. So, yeah, the mushrooms basically gave me a PhD in cosmic anthropology in one night, and ever since, I can't unsee it. How every mass awakening headline and every nervous system collapse and every spiritual TikTok trend is part of that reboot. We're not losing our minds, we're just syncing with a higher frequency. And you can feel it, right? Like time's not marching anymore. It is spiraling. Technology and consciousness and even your own body are evolving at light speed because we're shifting from the densest material phase of Kali into the first flicker of Dvapara, the energy age. So if you've been feeling the hum and if your soul's been a little restless and your intuition's been yelling something is happening, congratulations. You are not crazy. You are right on time. So welcome to the Yugas, babe, where science meets spirit, and you know what? We're all gonna make out. Welcome to the Synaptic Soul Podcast, where science meets spirit and they totally make out. I'm Ava Marie Anderson, your quantum-loving, spiritually savage bestie, here to prove your energy isn't mystical, it is measurable. And oh, quick heads up, if you hear snoring or grunting or a dramatic sigh mid-download, that is not a ghost in the machine. It's just my Frenchie co-hosts, Rocky and Rambo, vibing at their own frequency. Let's dive in. So after that mushroom revelation, I couldn't unsee it. Like I came back from that ceremony like, wait, 12,000-year cycles, a global flood as a reset button, the dawn of something called the energy age. Like I needed receipts. So I started digging, like ancient texts and Vedic astronomy and NASA data from Earth's precession. And let me tell you, babe, everything lined up like the cosmic Sudoku. But here's the wild part. What the ancients called the Yugas, these long epochs of rising and falling of human consciousness, it maps freakishly well to the actual astrophysical phenomenon. So while Western science was still arguing about whether the Earth revolved around the sun, or Indian sages had basically already mapped out how the whole solar system revolves around a galactic center in a 24,000-year cycle, and that movement through the galaxy changes the energetic field bathing our planet, and consciousness thus evolves along with it. So when people say time is an illusion, what they really mean is that it's not linear. It is fractal. It curls in on itself like a spiral galaxy, looping through lessons until the frequency upgrades. And then every 12,000 years, we complete a descent and we start climbing back toward coherence. Like think of it as the Earth's cosmic inhale and exhale. And if you zoom out far enough, civilization looks less like a straight history book and more like a heartbeat monitor, like peaks of enlightenment, valleys of amnesia. The golden ages weren't myths. They were high-frequency eras where humans remember that they were divine conductors of consciousness. Like the Dark Ages weren't curses. They were the low battery warning of the human soul. And then here's the kicker. According to this model, the Great Flood wasn't just a biblical drama. It was the literal moment the earth tilted into descent, the energetic equivalent of the lights dimming before the show changes. The flood myths from Egypt to Mesopotamia, even the Hopi stories, they all echo the same event. Humanity fell out of coherence, forgot our connection to the field, and started worshiping matter instead of mastering energy. Like, welcome to the Kali Yuga. Population, us, trying to find Wi-Fi in the dark. But cycles mean redemption. Consciousness never flatlines, it oscillates. So after every exhale comes an inhale, and according to both ancient calculation and modern sky maps, we are at the beginning of that inhale. So the dawn of the Dvapara Yuga, the energy age, basically means that all the weirdness that you've been feeling for the past 2 decades, the time warp, the psychic awakenings, the burnout, the collective identity crisis, it is not just coincidence. It is biology syncing with cosmology. So your nervous system is literally learning a new language. It's vibration. So that's why meditation feels electric now, why your body can't tolerate certain environments or relationships, and why intuition's louder and the bullshit tolerance is lower. You're not becoming too sensitive, you're becoming coherent. And then science is catching up. HeartMath Institute shows that when humans enter states of love or gratitude, our heart's electromagnetic field synchronizes with the Earth's Schumann resonance. And then brainwave research shows that meditative theta and gamma frequencies mirror our solar rhythms. So, translation, the body is a tuning fork for the planet. And as the planet shifts its frequency, your cells are updating like cosmic software. And this is why tech exploded right on cue. Like the Yuga model predicted an age when humanity would rediscover the subtle nature of energy, and look around. Everything we touch now is invisible frequency. We got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and quantum computing and energetic healing and frequency medicine. These are not random inventions. They're reflections of the consciousness that we have re-entered. The ancients called it prana. Physicists call it the unified field. It's the same vibe, it's just a different vocabulary. So when you feel like time is speeding up, you're not wrong. The perception of acceleration happens when consciousness expands. It's like zooming out on Google Earth. You see more landscape in less time. The more aware we become, the more nonlinear time feels. And that's why a year now feels like 3 months. Like we're just vibrating faster, literally. And yeah, it's messy, because while consciousness upgrades, systems built in the old frequency, like governments and institutions and egos, they all start glitching. Like we mistake the collapse for chaos, but it's really the cosmic operating system rebooting. The dark feminine, the trauma resurfacing, the collective shadow work. It's the detox before the dawn. The Yugas aren't just a cosmic trivia. They're the scaffolding of your incarnation. They explain why you were born now. Like your soul didn't just come to binge watch the apocalypse. It came here to help reprogram reality. So no, you're not imagining the hum beneath everything. It is the frequency of the next age tuning in, and your job, my love, my heart, my bestie, is to remember that you are not a passive listener. You are part of the orchestra. Like time isn't just marching forward, it's looping upward. It's spiraling toward remembrance. And for the first time in 12,000 years, humanity is hitting ascend. You ever have a breakup so wild that it felt like the universe was writing fan fiction about your nervous system? Yeah, same. My upcoming book, For the Plot, is what happens when heartbreak turns holy and humor becomes healing. It's part memoir, part fiction, all chaos. A love letter to the woman who burned their old selves down and call it transformation. This isn't your typical self-help book. It's sexy, it's messy, it's a little unhinged, and it is deeply spiritual. Because growth isn't always sage and soft lighting. Sometimes it's tequila and tears and a text you shouldn't have sent. So if you've ever looked at your healing journey and thought, well, at least it's good for the plot, this one's for you. For the Plot, coming spring 2026. Stay tuned, stay messy, and pre-order soon at avamarieanderson.com. Let's zoom out for a second. So if time is a spiral, then each loop is divided into 4 energetic seasons, like consciousness, spring, summer, fall, and winter. So the ancients called them the Yugas, and they weren't talking about fashion eras or TikTok trends. They were describing the rise and fall of awareness itself. So the 4 yugas are the Satya, the golden, the Treta, the silver, the Dvapara, the bronze, and the Kali, iron. And together, they make up one full breath of the Earth's cosmic evolution, a descent into density and then a climb back into light. So here's the simplest way to imagine it. In Satya Yuga, humanity remembers that we're made of source. In Treta, we still know it, but the ego starts whispering. In Dvapara, we intellectualize it, turning spirit into science and symbol. And then by Kali, we forget entirely. Like matter becomes the new god, and we start mining divinity from the dirt. Like each yuga lasts thousands of years, but they're not just time spans. They're states of consciousness. The quality of awareness shifts like frequency bands on a radio dial. You can't tune into the golden wisdom age with an iron age bandwidth. So let's start with Satya Yuga, the golden age. It's full coherence. So this is unity consciousness in full bloom. The Satya Yuga human doesn't believe in energy. They are energy. They are embodied. There's no separation between science and spirit because everyone remembers that they're the same thing. So think like crystalline cities and telepathic communication and a planet in harmonic resonance. The veil doesn't even exist here. And from a quantum standpoint, this is high coherence. It's zero resistance and total alignment. The nervous system vibrates in sync with the Schumann resonance. The heart's EM field is massive and time feels fluid. This is why physics called it it's negentropy. It's the opposite of chaos. It's a state where information organizes itself naturally. But consciousness is cyclical, and even the highest frequency eventually has to exhale. So enter entropy, the fall, the long forgetting. So then we dive into the Treta Yuga, the Silver Age, the beginning of the fall. So here duality creeps in. Awareness is still high, but the ego starts developing. The cosmic I gets curious about individuality. So mythologically, this is when gods and humans coexist, when advanced civilizations like Atlantis or Lemuria start experimenting with power and polarity. So a science translation, the field begins differentiating. Energy condenses, quantum potential collapses into matter more frequently. It's beautiful, but it's also unstable. It's kind of like a toddler realizing that it has hands and then immediately knocking everything over. So the Treta Yuga is the age of mastery, but mastery with temptation. Like we still have access to the cosmic knowledge, but misuse starts to whisper. Power becomes seductive. And once we forget that power without heart, it corrupts, that slide then accelerates. And then we get into the Dvapara Yuga. It's the Bronze Age. It's the mind over matter age. So now we're deep in separation. The mind replaces intuition. We intellectualize spirit instead of embodying it. Technology rises, but consciousness contracts. We're fascinated by external energy, electricity, machinery, manipulation of matter, while forgetting that the internal energy that basically created everything. And if that sounds familiar, it's because we are re-entering this one now, but in the ascending half. The ancient texts describe it as the age of energy where humans rediscover the subtle fields behind all matter. In the descending Dvapara, we built machines. In the ascending one, we become the machine, integrating tech with consciousness and bioelectric awareness and frequency medicine and quantum biology. It's like the universe hitting the upgrade button on our total operating system, but you still got a few viruses from the last version, so which basically is your ego and your greed and your trauma. So integration's messy, but it is still progress. And then you've got the Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, the long forgetting. A lot of people think that we are in the Kali Yuga now. I don't subscribe to that, nor did the mushrooms tell me that. The Kali Yuga for me was It ended in about the 1700s, about the late 1700s, when we started to understand electricity. So the dark night of the collective soul, humanity fully identifies with matter. Like everything becomes transactional and hierarchical and industrial. Like God is outsourced, the body is commodified, and connection turns into consumption. It's the age of shadow, but it's also the seed of remembering. Because the beauty of the Iron Age is that once you have reached maximum density, there is nowhere to go but up. The same compression that creates suffering also creates diamonds. Every spiritual awakening, every breakdown, every what the actual fuck is happening moment is the soul's pushback against this density. And from a physics lens, the Kali Yuga's maximum entropy, its total disorganization, which paradoxically contains the potential for reorganization. It's the universe's chaos algorithm rebooting itself. And now look, here's where it all gets juicy. We're not in Kali anymore, babe. We are in the dawn of the Dvapara, the Bronze Age sunrise after a 12,000-year winter. And that's why everything feels like it's on fast forward. Technology is exploding. Consciousness is accelerating. Your nervous system is trying to remember how to run energy like it did a millennia ago. The collective anxiety and burnout and identity collapse, that's our growing pains. Like, we're the generation bridging worlds, descendants of the dark, architects of the dawn. Half primal scream, half cosmic symphony. So when you look around and you think the world's falling apart, try this truth on instead. It's actually falling up. Like, we're not ending, we're ascending. The cycle is turning, the light's remembering itself, and you, my bestie, are part of that spiritual cosmic reboot. All right, so we're no longer trudging through the sludge of the Kali Yuga. We're surfing the sunrise of the ascending Dvapara, the energy age, and that literally explains everything you've been feeling, by the way. The chaos, the collective burnout, the what the fuck is happening, the sudden craving for authenticity and rest and nature and nervous system peace. Like, we're not broken. We're actually rebooting. You see, the ancients said that as we rise out of the densest point of the Yuga cycle, humanity begins to remember energy again. And not just intellectually, but experientially. Like, we rediscover what mystics and healers and sages have always known, that everything, including thought and emotion and consciousness itself, is vibration. And now fast forward that to our modern world, the 21st century, where we have literally built a civilization on invisible frequencies. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, EM waves, infrared, 5G, AI neural nets. It is all a cosmic wink from the universe saying, I told you everything was energy. Like, we're not in the dark age of superstition anymore. We're in the science age of spirit, and the line between them is evaporating. Like, think about it. 200 years ago, humans barely understood electricity, and now we're using frequency to heal bodies and alter moods and send our consciousness halfway across the world through glowing rectangles. Like, that's not progress, that is evolution. But the real evolution, or revolution, rather, isn't technological, it is internal. Our nervous systems are literally recalibrating to a higher frequency band. Like, if you've ever felt waves of fatigue and anxiety and sensitivity and emotional surges, it's not random chaos. It's entrainment. In physics, entrainment is when one vibrating system influences another until they sync. Like, the Earth's magnetic field is changing and your biofield is syncing to match. Like, you're not too sensitive. You are a frequency instrument learning how to play a new octave. And that's why the Great Awakening isn't woo-woo, it's physics. The Schumann's resonance, Earth's natural electromagnetic heartbeat, it has been spiking over the last 2 decades. And at the same time, human EEG studies show more frequent bursts of gamma activity, like the brainwave state associated with bliss and unity and spontaneous insight. So translation, the planet and its inhabitants are literally tuning up. Like, our ancestors described this through myth, the return of light, the end of the dark age. Science calls it an increase in coherent frequency. It's the same data, it's just a different dialect. Like your body is a map of the shift. The autonomic nervous system, that ancient circuitry between survival and safety, that is the bridge between matter and consciousness. When the planet's field intensifies, your system starts dumping old data, your trauma, your suppressed emotion, your karmic residue, all of it. That is why the healing era feels relentless. Like, it's not that everybody suddenly got traumatized, it's that the density of the Kali Yuga is clearing out of our collective fascia. And polyvagal theory and ancient yogic pranayama say the same damn thing, by the way. When the body feels safe, consciousness expands. When you regulate your nervous system, you become a better conduit for higher frequency. So all the therapy and the shadow work and the breath work and the cold plunges and the plant medicine and the sound baths, that is you learning to hold a new voltage. Like you're literally training your biology for the next age. And the Dvapara Yuga, it is the energy age, and in every cycle, it begins with a technological renaissance. But tech is just a mirror for consciousness. We've externalized what we once did internally. Like Wi-Fi is wireless telepathy. Cloud storage is the Akashic field. Like AI is the collective consciousness learning to think out loud. And as the frequency rises, we'll start reclaiming these abilities from within. Intuition sharpens, synchronicities multiply, manifestation speeds up, and telepathic connection becomes more common, not because magic is new, but because density is finally dissolving. Like, it's not spiritual ascension, it's quantum biology catching up to cosmic truth. But here's the catch. As light amplifies, so does shadow. The same frequency that awakens also exposes. So while some people are remembering their divinity, others are doubling down on fear and control and denial. And it's not evil, it's just energetic contrast. Every system built on separation must collapse before coherence can stabilize. So the chaos that you see in the world isn't the end, it's just a little detox. It's old frequencies expiring, new ones anchoring, and then here's the wildest part. You chose to be here for this. Your soul incarnated now at this exact point in the cosmic waveform because you knew that you could hold this bandwidth. You're not a victim of the shift, you are the shift. Like, the Great Awakening isn't a New Age fantasy. It's the physics of consciousness evolution. It's the Yuga cycle rebooting in real time. And we're the bridge generation, the ones who remember just enough darkness to value the light, but just enough light to rewrite the story. So when you feel the chaos rising, just breathe. You're not witnessing the end of the world. You're witnessing the world remembering itself. And you, by the way, were born calibrated for it. You ever wish your spiritual practice came with a push notification? Same. That is why I live on the Sage app. It's like a digital mystery school and a self-care sanctuary had a baby. You'll find rituals, live classes, moon circles, and daily practices from some of the most badass teachers in the spiritual space. And yeah, I'm one of them. I host the live new moon manifestation clubs, plus courses and activations that blend neuroscience, quantum mechanics, and ancient magic. It's basically science with a side of witchcraft. So come hang with me live on the next new moon inside Sage. Download the app in the App Store or Google Play, and let's just get your energy right and your rituals tight and your frequency lit. So if the Yugas are just cosmic seasons of consciousness, then each full 24,000-year cycle is basically Earth's hero journey. Like, there's the rise, the fall, and then the comeback tour, complete with floods and temples and a few missing continents. When I first learned that every yuga has both a descending and an ascending heart arc, it hit me like deja vu. Because every myth humanity's ever told, from Eden to Atlantis, is the same fucking story. We remember, we forget, and then we remember again. But you know what? Let's start with the descent. The long slide from Satya's golden coherence down to Kali's shadow. The ancient texts call it the age of decline, but that sounds like way too dramatic. it's really just the universe experimenting with contrast. So in Satya's Yuga's high noon, consciousness is unified. Like think Lemuria, that whispered civilization said to have existed before history when communication was telepathic and energy technology was woven into everyday life. Like there's no power grids, no hierarchies, just harmonic fields. But as the descent begins, awareness condenses. Energy turns into matter, light turns into ego. Lemuria sinks, maybe literally, maybe symbolically, as humanity starts to crave individuality. So then cue Atlantis. And Atlantis wasn't some Disney water park. It was a society that remembered the energetic laws of creation but started using them without integrity. In the descending Treta and Dvapara phases, the Atlanteans mastered crystal technology and anti-gravity and consciousness engineering, but forgot the whole "with great power comes coherence" clause. And in physics, it's physics, not punishment. Like when frequency drops, dense matter takes over. When coherence breaks, systems collapse. So the mythic flood, whether you call it Noah or Gilgamesh or Poseidon's tantrum, it was nature's way of resetting the field, the great exhale into the darkness. And then Egypt rose from those floodwaters as the memory keepers. Every pyramid, every hieroglyph, every initiation rite was an archive of the lost light. The Egyptians weren't building tombs, they were building frequency machines, encoded geometries to preserve resonance through the dark half of the Yugas. That's why they were so fucking obsessed over the stars and sound, because they knew that energy was the bridge back to source. And then let's fast forward through a millennia of fog and like the whole Iron Age grind, the spiritual amnesia, the age of war and empire. And then the cycle starts to turn again. Like humanity hits bottom, realizes that money isn't God, and starts clawing our fucking way back toward consciousness. That's the ascending half that we're in now. And here's the poetic symmetry. The same archetypes repeat, but in reverse. So, in the descending arc, Lemuria fell as unity fragmented. In the ascending arc, we're rediscovering that unity through global connectivity and telepathy via tech and collective healing networks. Like, then you've got Atlantis, which misused frequency. We, on the other hand, are learning to wield it consciously. We do the sound healing and the quantum medicine and the energy coherence. Like Egypt preserved geometry in stone, and then we are reviving it in code. Every digital waveform, every sacred algorithm is geometry reawakening. Like from myth to molecule, the universe loves a comeback story. And now, look. You might be thinking, all right, cool bedtime stories, Ava, but where's the science? Well, let me tell you, it's right there, babe. Like the descent corresponds with Earth's movement away from the galactic center, a literal dimming of cosmic energy. So magnetic intensity drops, human cognition contracts, and the ascent is our solar system arcing back toward that radiant midpoint, soaking in the higher frequency plasma. That is not woo, that is astrophysics. So, when you read that ancient cultures worldwide had sun gods who promised to return, that wasn't cult propaganda. It was encoded cosmology. The sun was shorthand for consciousness. Like every myth of resurrection, Osiris, Christ, like all of it, it is the Yuga cycle singing through a different tongue. The light falls, but it always rises. So you're like, all right, why does this matter? Well, because remembering this pattern changes everything. It reframes collapse as part of cosmic respiration. It turns apocalypse into apocastasis, which is Greek for restoration. So when you look at the world right now, the tech explosions, the climate chaos, the spiritual renaissance, you're watching the mid-ascent turbulence. Like old frequencies like control and extraction and domination, they are gasping for relevance, while the new frequencies like coherence and connection and consciousness, we're just still learning to walk. So again, I've said it twice now, I'm going to say it again, we are the bridge generation. We are the reincarnated architects of every age that we have ever built or destroyed. Like Lemurian hearts, Atlantean hands, Egyptian eyes, we came back to finish the experiment, but with integrity this time. Like the ancients said that the Satya Yuga would dawn again, not through saviors descending from the sky, but through remembrance rising from within. And maybe that's what the mushrooms meant when they whispered that we're entering the energy age. Like not an age of gadgets, but of an age of grace. Because the real Atlanteans, like that's not just under the ocean, it's under our skin, just waiting to reemerge. You know how everybody loves to say love and light? Yeah, but what about the black holes? Like, this is where Morgan Garza comes in, the shadow work queen herself. Her podcast, Love, Light, and Black Holes, is where mysticism meets the messy middle. Morgan dives into the real work, the grief, the rage, and the rebirths, and somehow makes it sound like a damn revolution. So if you're ready to stop spiritually bypassing and actually integrate your darkness, go check out Love, Light, and Black Holes with Morgan Garza, available wherever you listen. So if the Yugas are Earth's breath, then right now we are in a gorgeous inhale, that slow, shivery moment before the lungs fill with light again. Like the long night is ending, and somewhere in the distance, dawn is already humming. The ancients called the destination the Satya Yuga, the Golden Age. Not a fantasy, not utopia, just the natural consequence of coherence. It's what happens when consciousness finally remembers itself completely. But here's the thing the old prophecies rarely mention. The next Golden Age doesn't just arrive one day in fireworks and angels. It emerges gradually through nervous systems, not nations, and through hearts and not hierarchies. Like, it just begins with you. Like every Yuga's ascent correlates with our solar system's orbit back toward the galactic center, the densest field of plasma and light in our corner of the cosmos. So when we draw closer, cosmic radiation and photon density increase, which literally raises the energetic charge bathing our planet. Scientists call it the local interstellar cloud. Mystics call it the return of light. That increased energy doesn't just hit the magnetosphere, it hits us. Like our DNA is photoreactive antenna. The more light that strikes it, the more it expresses the dormant strands. It's not spiritual poetry, it's biophysics. Studies in photomodulation show that light can activate or suppress genetic sequences. And now imagine what happens when an entire planet moves into a higher frequency field. Like Golden Age isn't a metaphor, it's mitochondria remembering how to sing. And as consciousness ascends, the scaffolding of society reorganizes around resonance, not fear. We've been based in fear. We're moving away from that. Like technology becomes transparent, almost invisible, because the real technology is consciousness itself. Like money becomes energy exchange again. Medicine becomes frequency. Leadership becomes stewardship. And the feminine, that intuitive and regenerative and relational, she takes her seat beside the analytical, not beneath it. So like, think less flying cars and more telepathic coherence. Like communities tuned by resonance instead of regulation. Children born remembering their past lives because the veil finally thins to a silk thread. Like death itself is reframed as data migration. And it sounds wild, sure, yes, but remember, people once thought radio waves were witchcraft. Like, we're already building the prototype. The surge in quantum research and psychedelics and biofield medicine and heart-brain coherence studies, that's the scientific scaffolding for this next yuga. What the rishis saw in meditation, physicists are now modeling with math. So in the future, consciousness will be the new frontier of physics. The question won't be, does God exist, but how does consciousness shape probability? Manifestation won't be a TikTok trend. It'll just be a course in university. And spirituality won't be religion's side hustle. It'll be neuroscience's favorite lab partner. So look, the golden age isn't ahead, it's underway. Every act of compassion, every moment that you regulate your nervous system, every breath that you take that says, I choose coherence over chaos, it nudges humanity further up the spiral. Like your body is a voting booth for evolution. When you anchor peace, you literally alter the collective field. HeartMath's research shows that one coherent person can entrain thousands around them. So translation, your calm isn't personal self-care, it's planetary service. So yeah, meditate, hydrate, cry, dance, scream, forgive, and then repeat. every vibration matters. The universe is taking attendance. Like, remember how the old myths always promised that gods would return? Here's the plot twist. We were the gods. The Atlanteans, the Lemurians, the star beings, those were earlier iterations of us, echoes in the DNA. Like, we're the reincarnation of every civilization that fell, the living apology and the living upgrade. Like, we came back to finish the experiment with consciousness intact. The golden age isn't about leaving Earth for the heavens. It's about bringing heaven back to the Earth through biology and through beauty and through awareness. So, where do we go from here? Well, we remember, and then we regulate, and then we rebuild, not by escaping density, but by mastering it, not by rejecting science, but by expanding it to include the soul. The next Yuga won't be ruled by kings or corporations. It'll be stewarded by consciousness itself, by people like you, sitting in their living rooms, talking to the mushrooms, decoding time, and remembering who the fuck they are. Because that's how every golden age starts. It's with somebody who refuses to forget.